been working on this painting over the weekend, and I like most everything about it except parts of it are just too dark. And I want to bring more light into the dark areas. There, and there. I have texture on it, which I'm liking the texture. And I like the colors in the weeds texture. But again, I want more light in the dark areas. So that's what I'll be working on today. Just want to hit some highlights here and there to bring up the brightness more. This is a stipple brush that I'm just using to add some lights to help contrast more with the dark and bring an overall brightness to areas. Where I go too bright, too light, I will come back in and add the shadows. Wipe off your fingers a bit, it helps too. I'm going to leave some dark over here, but definitely bring more brightness in here. If it starts to go too white, I have a mixture of yellow and white for a creamy yellow, but I can come back in with white, or with yellow mixed in with the white, tone that down. But from a distance, I'm liking it already. Okay. Just a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, a little bit too yellow. I've been using this palette all weekend, so it's got a little bit of everything on it. Yes. And as on the other side, if I feel this is getting too light, I can come back in with darker shadows underneath the light. This actually adds more dimension to all of it. It was too flat and dark. So again, from a distance, that's working much better. Particularly hit the areas where the light from the sky and from the sunset would be hitting on the trees. Okay. So that's certainly better in the background there. Now that I've done that, I need to brighten the foreground. This is all textured, so I can come back with a wet paintbrush and work that into the areas, in between the ridges, in between the texture. But all I'm wanting to do right now is get some light on there. And with a damp watercolor brush, I can work it the way I want to. Where I lose some of the color which I'm liking, I can use my watercolor brush and stroke in those colors again. See how that looks from back there. A little better maybe. Just wanting some lighter marks up and down. I'm going to go ahead and get a watercolor brush. It's damp. I'm going to go in between the ridges here. Again, this is textured. And I can work that light in between the light colors I put on there. Work them in between. Recapture some of the color. All right. I don't know if I can set that up like that. I'm liking that. By putting the lighter color on the dark trees in the background, the orange of the sky behind there has really popped out too. So that's an extra benefit. So I want to brighten this up a little bit here. Not a whole lot. My yellow and some white. I know it looks like a lot right now, but it's going to work in those texture areas. And that gives me a base even to come back over with some of those colors that I'm liking in the background there. Okay. I'm going to use my finger. Because it's rough, I can kind of work it in. Okay, I like that. Again, from the back, stepping back, it looks nice. Might be a little bit too much there, but I just wipe it off and blend it in. And get my watercolor brush. Don't want it too wet. And now I can come in here, blend this out. But keep the light. Let the water come through behind there. And keep the light that I added down here. Even though it looked like a lot when I put it on, it's actually blending in really nice. That was a modeling paste that I used for the texture there, so it's the lighter colors are blending into it, absorbing into it. right here, I'm not liking that. So with my damp watercolor brush, I wipe that off, and there's the water of the lake behind it. Same example here. That's too much. Wipe it off. And there you see the water behind the lake again. Or behind the weeds in the lake. Okay, so I do like this. I'm going to do similar over here. Go back to my stencil brush, because it seems to be working pretty good to get into those crevices of that texture medium. There, I went too heavy, so I can come back in and work that out with the watercolor brush. Looks like a lot, but it's going to be fine. Sometimes you have to paint a painting and hang it on the wall and look at it for a while and realize what it needs. Take it back to the easel. Okay, get my watercolor brush again, wipe it off, and in here, in between the textured medium, we'll work it down a bit. Right there, that's where there's too much. Just work it out. And some that I think I don't want left there, I'm going to leave anyway, because I'm going to go over, when it's dry, I'm going to go over it with some color and bring the color back in. Like right here, this is a bit too bright right down through there. But I'm going to leave it and come over it with color with my rigger brush. But I need to wait for that to dry there. I can try some of it. Maybe back in here where I lost some of the color. Let's see, what color shall we use? A lot of this is dried up, so I'm probably going to have to either dampen it or put out some more. Try to put out a little bit more here. And we'll put a little bit of this over here. I'll just use that as a test. Get it nice and soupy, but not blotchy. And, oh yeah. There, see the lavender? And I'll come in with some deep blues and deeper purples, and then highlight all of that with maybe some lighter oranges that I'd had in there. But yeah, I want deeper purple in there as a shadow. But I'm liking the pastels. I've used a quinacridone magenta, I believe it was, and that worked really well to add color. going to come back in with some other colors. Here, this is just about dry, so I can bring some of the lavender up through here as well. Add some marks down in here with the lavender. Give it some more texture. Not liking that bright green there. Let's see if I can go over top of that there. So, got rid of it. So much you can do and rework, even if you think you've messed up or lost what you were going for initially. You can actually come back in and rework it really well with acrylics. So yeah, all of it is looking much better than when I started. I'll just continue on this route. Bring in some purples there. Really like that. Again, if it's too thick, I'll just come back in with my watercolor brush and work it out and achieve what I was hoping to achieve in the first place. All right, thanks for watching this with me and getting an idea of how you can go back and rework something by watching how I went back and added some brightness and brought in color again. Where there's too much color, I'm able to work it out and let the water behind the reeds and weeds show through. And again, I'll come back in with deeper colors for the shadows down in here. All right, thanks again for watching. I look forward to finish this up.